Welcome everybody to PATCHCAST. In this video, we're going to be ranking all the mid lane champions in patch 26.8. We're going to be covering high elo and low elo tier list. And joined with me today is AJ.
What's up, guys?
AJ is a challenger and a player. I'm representing US, and we're going to have a crack because this patch is not going to be that large. And the next patch, which is 26.9, is going to be really huge because they're changing basically season 1 to season 2, and that means that a lot of system changes are coming and the game will just shake up a lot. And therefore we really want to go out with a bang of season 1 of this season and make sure that we've tiered all the champions accordingly. We're going to have a massive overhaul of the S plus and the A tier, really making sure that all the champions are in the right order. And we got a bunch of interesting champions to cover today as well. But first, it's time. It's been a few months of a specific champion in the gutter. And Riot has finally decided that he's allowed to be lifted out of the gutter, and it's Hwei. Yeah. How do you feel about this, AJ? Excited?
I'm excited, man, because Hwei is my main control mage, right? This is like your Syndra, right? Imagine Syndra being D tier for like months and months and months and months.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I'm really excited, and the specific changes are the passive got buffed,
yep,
right? By quite a bit, actually, I believe. Yeah, like the base damage went up by, I don't know how much percentage that is, but quite a bit at level 1. Really a lot by level 18, or I think that might be to level 20, but a lot. And then the fact that his ability slow, like the slow stacks, that's going to be really good, because when you go EE into R, you're going to be able to easily land a Q, right? QW or QE, and you're just going to have so much more utility.
Yeah.
And your base damage even higher. So I think this is a really welcome changes. I don't know if it's enough to push him like to Ori Viktor level, but I think he'll be solid after this. Because again, the problem was output, but his output is going up a lot with those passive changer buffs.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's talk first. What was Hwei's problem? Hwei's biggest problem, they gutted him last time, was the wave clear. And that was initially his identity. He could just QE, lay the carpet down, clear the wave. That made him such a unique control mage because he was that good. That was his niche indeed. So they gutted that. His niche kind of went down, and then he didn't have the damage numbers to back it up and actually push up against all the other champions in the meta.
Yeah.
Now they buffed up the damage numbers right now, which is already a welcome change, especially in his passive, because you're going to be proccing that one over and over again. We're talking also base damage buffs that scale with level. What does this mean? Mid lane centric buffs comparatively towards AD carry, because AD carries are generally lower levels. So Hwei's going to deal more damage. How much damage is he exactly going to deal? Well, we're talking on average he procs it like 2 times in like in like a fight, in early skirmishes. So he's going to be dealing a pretty significant amount of extra damage that he initially didn't have.
Yeah.
Therefore, he's already gonna. He might get back into those damage numbers where he's now strong enough to actually have a bit of an impact. But not only that, the slows are a really big deal, and I think this is pretty overrated because Hwei uses a few interesting trading combos. He uses QE into EE. Now, I'm not an expert on what this exactly means, but in the past, I think that the biggest slow was the one that was applied, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you now land someone with a QE into EE, that means that they're going to be stuck longer in the QE, or am I crazy?
Yeah, basically what this means is because your EE slows and your QE slows, what would happen before is that I think your EE slows for a little bit more. So your EE is going to have this, it's going to override your QE slow. And then they're going to be slowed for a little bit, and then the QE slow will apply again when your EE runs out. Whereas now, they stack together for diminishing return. So, just as a hypothetical, I don't know his actual slow numbers because I never actually looked into that. But like, let's say his QE slows for 20%, his EE slows for 30. Rather than it only being 30 for like the duration of his EE, it'll be like 35 or 40, right? So it basically like he's getting a buff on his slow if you're going like QE EE, or you go R into QE and his slow get buffed. So his self peel goes up a lot actually with this change.
Right, so self peels goes up, but not only that, he also, because of the slows now being longer, people get stuck in the E longer, which means that there's more damage on the E. It's easier to land if you do an EE into R combination with the slow. It's because it stacks, it's now also easier to land the QW if that's the ability that you want to land. So this is going to directly give him more damage. So we get more damage and we get more damage. Now,
And the utility goes up even more too, because like if you set up a gank, they can't move, right? If you are into EE, they literally just are not going to move, right?
Right.
With how slow they are.
Right. Yeah. So the reality is that Hwei is gonna get a significant damage number increase. Actually, significant damage number increase, and we are pretty happy with that. Now it's up to us experts. Yes, I'm gonna just put the word out there, professionals here, to now make an accurate guess of where Hwei is gonna go. He started in dog shit tier. I've got a bit of a hunch, but I want to hear your opinion first. What do you think?
Yeah, so the way I'm rationalizing where I'm putting him is that I value the first 15 minutes. And those passive buffs is like having an extra scorch in your lane, right? Is the way I like to view it, right? Because you go WE, auto attack EE, that's like you get the passive, that's like having an extra scorch. And so I think if I were playing Hwei against a Viktor and I had 2 scorches level of output, that would make the lane feel a lot better. But I still think his output in the game in terms of raw damage is not as high as these other champions. So I am gonna like him at high B is where I would personally place him. I think it'll be solid, but I still think the other mages are gonna be just a little better in my opinion, at least for super high elo.
Yeah, I think high B, bottom A. I kind of want to put him bottom A because I think he's going to be able to withstand
these matchups a lot more.
Yeah, just with raw damage. I think he's going to be able to play versus Asol. I think he's going to be able to play versus Anivia. I think he's going to be able to play versus the likes of Echo and Fizz. Those type of mages, or those assassins, have never been the biggest problem for Hwei because you got the wave clear, you got the WW. Exactly. So I think Hwei's going to be middle of the pack A tier here. With now a little bit more damage.
Yep, I like it.
You like that? That's good.
I'm happy with that.
So Hwei, big news for the Hwei players, guys. It's unbelievable. Riot did it. Next up, a very interesting one as well, which is Mel. Okay, let's do Mel first before we do Lucian.
Yeah.
And Mel initially was in the A tier because honestly she had been quite good, and Riot now also reflects that. Funny little joke there in the nerfs. Because Mel is just a really problematic champion to verse for a lot of champs. Now, what they are exactly changing is they are nerfing the initial hit damage on the Q by 20 flat. That's insane, by the way, guys. 20 flat.
That's so ridiculous.
And 5% AP. And the W cooldown goes up by 3 seconds at all ranks.
Yep.
Which is also really insane. Because everything more than 30 seconds cooldown, guys, is very impactful because you can use it once per wave, because a wave comes every 30 seconds. So if you are going to make an ability cooldown 30 seconds, that you can use the once per wave. That's fine, right? Like Akari W, for example. But if you're going to start going above 30, we now need to decide on which wave that we're going to use it or not. Or at the beginning or the end. It can get quite tricky to manage these 3 seconds. These 3 seconds are larger than initially may seem. So this is quite big, and the move speed duration goes down. Now, I think this is it's a bit of a nice utility factor, but I think the targeted nerfs of this move speed is more for high elo one rather than a lower elo ones, because a lot of lower players don't even know that this spell actually gives move speed.
Yeah. Throwing shade. You gotta get the shade in to lower elo players.
So, A tier. She's definitely not going to be A tier anymore.
No,
what does this do here in your opinion?
Yeah, so, well, I think the biggest thing this does, first of all, is change player perception. Because recently, I wanted to understand more about, just to go on a tangent, about what the average player, so someone who's not always seeking to get better at the game, how do they feel when they play the game? So I go on like the League Reddit Discord server, and they have big like gameplay chat rooms. And there's like 2 servers. I sometimes just like to check to see what player sentiment is like, just so I understand. And I think literally every single day that I checked like 5 days in a row, somebody is complaining about Mel, right? And the reason why is the perception of Mel was that she's like so unfun to play against. Because most people don't like having to hold their spells the entire lane, right? The idea of being patient with Ari Charm is not fun for the average player, right? So the reality is they have to, it's like the Yone effect, right? They have to over nerf her to compensate for player perception. Because like we said, she's strong, but not overpowering. But that's at pinnacle levels of play, right? So the trickle down effect is that the more lower elo or medium level players think that she's the most bullshit champion ever, right? And so I had to make her completely terrible in order for her to not feel frustrating. I think this sends her right down to D tier. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
like
terrible,
she got completely shot out back. Yeah. These are terrible changes. Like, she is not going to be playable for the most part.
So a funny thing to note about Mel is that her Q initially was faster than it is right now. They put like this small extra delay on that Q. So if you hit the first part of it, right, it's pretty hard to land the rest of the part because people actually dodge it, especially in higher ranks. Because it's slower. So you can just visualize it and dodge it a lot easier. Now, you could hit the first part. But if they get the first part, you don't hit the rest as well.
Yeah. So for high elo, it's completely awful.
Yeah.
And it's because the in practice, the dodging the initial the secondary parts only works in high elo, in my opinion. Because just from my experience coaching and watching players play, they get hit by the entire fucking queue, even if it's slower, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think she's D tier as well.
Completely terrible for higher elo.
And I want to really share that sentiment that a lot of lower elo players have, because I've also seen it I've been doing how you always beat champion, every champion on my YouTube channel. A lot of people have probably already seen it. And Mel's been the most requested out of all of them.
Right.
Like, there's been people crying in the comments for Mel.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I want to give a little bit of extra educational information here, guys, right? And this is the stuff that we normally only tell like in the coaching sessions and in the educational videos that we're doing in our coaching program, on our socials as well, is that you don't beat Mel by playing the trading game. Right, you're playing the mini game versus Mel, and a lot of people don't understand how the mini game works. And the mini game is that you just play on the waves in the early game, because her cooldowns are like disgustingly high,
really long. And mana cost is really high too. She has to constantly react to the wave as well.
Exactly, we're talking 10 seconds on Q level 1, 11 seconds on E level 1. These are cooldowns, guys, that you can't box up against if you're versus any other control mage, let alone even Akali. Akali can just push the fucking wave in Mel's face.
Level 1.
If she wants. Yeah, this is offense is defense. So Mel is just it's an understanding problem, right? If you struggle with Mel, it's because you haven't really put the effort into trying to beat her, and you're just smashing your brain into the wall over on repeat, into a reflect, and you're gonna get yourself charmed on cooldown. Just play on the wave, guys. And if people just learn to play on the wave, then we can buff up Mel a little bit again.
But you know what's fascinating? Just the last thing I'll say on Mel is that sometimes people don't want to do that. Like, especially the like middle tier players. It's like, you'll tell them that solution, they'll be like, "Oh, that's not fun. I play League to solo kill my laner, right?" Like, now again, I'm talking about the average player, not somebody who would be watching this podcast, right? Like, so not someone who's improvement oriented, but the average player is like, I don't want to freaking sit there and not interact with my laner, right? I want to play the game, you know. So there might be an interesting design philosophy there with Mel that might need to be covered at some point. Again, revisited it again.
Yeah, that's why people also can't stand Yasuo, right? Yasuo W. So let's immediately fix these two champions in the lower elo tier list. We had Mel in A tier previously as well. So these changes in lower elo, is this gonna push her down into?
I'll push her down a little bit, but I don't think she's not a don't pick, and that's just because players just struggle so much playing against her that you will have an edge playing Mel, even if her like numbers are low, just because of perception, right? Like, perception equals reality. So if you late against somebody and they hate Mel already, even if she's really weak, you'll still do well, right?
Yeah, and especially because the initial hit nerf matters less in lower ranks because they hit the rest. The W nerf matters less because no one's tracking cooldowns, and the move speed also doesn't matter because there's very little people actively using it. Right? It might sound funny, but it's just true. Right? Hwei. We had Hwei in the C tier, and the buffs to Hwei, I think, actually make him a pretty viable champion. You got to keep in mind, lower elos, we mean Emerald and below. And for a lot of people, Hwei may seem very hard. Like, maybe even some people would argue, he's got 9 spells, this champ is in the don't play tier. But the truth is, to pilot Hwei in lower ranks, it's less so about knowing which spell exactly to use at which time. And the moment you get enough repetitions in on this champion and you get the hang of those spells, Hwei actually becomes incredibly effective due to his pushing power. And a lot of enemies don't fully understand what Hwei wants to do. So these Hwei buffs are very good for low elo, especially. What do you reckon? I think he's up there here on A right now.
Wow, A, really?
Yeah, I think for low elo, he's going to be fucking good now.
Yeah, I mean, I can say, especially because I think getting double passive is like a lot easier in low elo too, because everyone lines up, and when like a team fight is like meatball versus meatball kind of things that I noticed. So like getting those extra passive procs is gonna like multiply your damage a lot. So yeah, I can see it. I think if you're Emerald and below, I mean I think his win rate's already okay in Emerald and below, to be honest. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look here at the let's just take gold on average here. Let's see what our boy Hwei is doing. Look, it's not fucking terrible, you know? It's like it's better than fucking Syndra. Look at that.
Yeah, like in platinum it's 50%, which is quite good. And gold is 50%. So like that middle elo range, like right when you hit emerald, 50%. Yeah.
Yep. Beautiful. Great. That leaves us now to another champion which got a buff, which is one that we didn't initially have on the tier list, which is Lucian, because he was just not played on mid because it was just too bad. Just too fucking bad.
That's too weak, yeah.
Now, they actually made a pretty interesting change here. They buffed his E cooldown from 18 at all rank, at 18 at rank 1 to 16, which is 2 seconds, which is large, guys. Very large. Not only that, they also buffed the mana costs up from 40 to 32. Now, Lucian is a very interesting champion on mid lane, guys. And to give you guys a little bit of perspective, Lucian is a bit of a lane bully, okay? And if you do not get ahead on mid lane while playing Lucian, you are going to be dead weight the entire game. Completely useless. He struggles versus a lot of champions on mid lane because it's sometimes pretty challenging for him to get trading opportunities into them. He gets stat checked or just poked out by a lot of champs. Good luck playing Lucian into Ryze or Lucian into fucking Viktor or Syndra or any other mage. You just get poked out. It's hard to get close. And these E-buffs actually give him some angles. Because the mana cost being down, Lucian kind of struggles with mana in the early lane because he trades a lot with Qs through the minions. Now having more E's up and also having lower mana on the E, that means he gets even more trading opportunities. And this might give him a little bit more power in his early laning, so he can actually get to that point where he can start taking control of the lane, because this champ still deals damage. His passive is just fucking useless in the lane, in mid lane, that is. Now, when you see this Lucian boost, what does it scream to you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna draw from my own experience because last season I like to play a lot of random champs experiment on my Smurf, which was around Grandmaster Elo. I played some Lucian mid, and the number one thing I felt like I couldn't to force a trade often enough because the mana cost was too high, right? Like I could literally never press W and only press E and Q, and I would still run out of mana, right? Because the way Lucian works is you poke with Q, right? You Q through the wave, through the casters. You get a slow build going, right? And then you dodge a skill shot. Like let's say you play as Ori, right? You dodge her Q and then you dash in to push her back, right? That's a trading pattern.
Yep.
And that's what made Lucian good against Ori in the past, right? In the previous seasons. And the problem is I felt is like I just couldn't do that often in the lane. Like I would just run out of mana way too fast. So I think that these are welcome changes. I don't know if he's going to be super effective still, just because again they really make sure that he can't be that good in solo lanes because of the like you need to be next to a teammate or something to get like your extra damage. So I think he could be C tier, and that's only if you're like absurdly good at the game, right? Like if you're really, really, really good, because Lucian has a very tight window where you need to like win your lane. Like your first 7 levels pre-first pace, you better get a fucking lead, or you're gonna get completely outscaled the second like Ori gets lost chapter or something.
Yep.
Right. So I still think he's terrible, but if you're like absolutely insane and like you really know Lucian versus Ori, I think he could be like barely C tier. Is how I see it.
Okay, I want to make a little bit of an observation that a lot of people watching actually don't see. So this cooldown reduction from 18 to 16 seconds, it's actually bigger than a lot of people think, because what exactly happens, right? It's not only the initial cooldown that gets lower, but it's also the fact that his passive shots reduce the cooldown of his E spell. And this is something that a lot of people don't know, but if you do an E into double out attack, what you'll find is that you reduce 2 seconds against enemy champions here. So if you do that with an E out attack, right? E into out attack, in the past, that would be from 18 to like 14 seconds. But now it goes from 16 to 12. Now you might be wondering, but that 2 seconds is very, very large if you're working on a shorter cooldown than if you're working on a longer cooldown, because the percentage effectiveness of it is just higher. Therefore, this change I think is actually quite good. And it might open up for some very creative trading opportunities also in the lane. Because imagine this, right? You do E, double out attack, which puts it at, I think you start at 16, it puts it at 12.
Yeah.
Then you do another double out attack, puts it at 8. You do another double out attack, puts it at 4. Which means that if you do a W and a Q afterwards, right, as well. Which means that in the meantime that you do that combo, this spell's already back up because it's going to take you about 3 seconds. And it means that you just get an extra rotation of E to get an extra trade in and potentially extend the trade. So this might open up for some funky positions in the lane, man.
Yeah, like your first your 3 all-in's gonna be insane.
Yes.
And the problem with that is you can't spam that because the mana is gonna still be ridiculous. But it's basically like Lucian is starting the lane with rank 3 E, right? It's basically how you want to view it. It's like you started the game with 2 extra skill points in E, right?
Yeah, that's actually fucking insane. Now I think about it.
So it's insanely good bot. I think for bot lane as well, this will make Lucian really good in bot.
Yeah.
Unrelated, but for mid, I think he's just too hard for like even an average master player to pilot him with these changes. So I think he's still like just barely C tier, like at the very bottom.
I would put him in C tier as well. You get yourself a good matchup, guys. You can play the game. Okay. Good luck into fucking Yone and Costadin or Galio. You're gonna fucking eat these guys. Right?
Yeah, you play. I was thinking that Lucian into Yone is like the freest matchup ever.
Great. So we're gonna keep an eye on Lucian, right? Maybe some pros are gonna pick him up and gonna do some crazy stuff in it. So next patch, we're gonna reevaluate how Lucian's actually doing.
Yep.
Okay, we got a question here. Okay. Gwen mid. Now you might be wondering, why does someone even consider asking a question from Gwen mid? Now let's figure that out. The reason that he gave is that the pick rate of Gwen mid is higher than 10%. I'm not sure if that's actually true or not, so we're just going to check it out here.
Is that possible? Yeah.
Yeah, he said he has got like a 10% pick rate on mid lane. So we're going to double check if that's actually the case. Gwen is not doing too hot, it looks like.
Gwen is just even terrible even in other lanes, not even mid. Like, I think Gwen top and jungle is awful right now.
It's actually true.
Look at our win rate.
It's a fucking 10% play rate on mid lane. 10.7% on mid lane. People are playing this champion.
Wait, where do you see that?
On the top here. 10% play rate.
Oh, it means the percentage of people who pick Gwen in general play her mid. Oh, I see.
That's right. I've actually versed over the past 2 months, I've versed 4 Gwen mid players.
Really?
Yeah, I've versed 4. You've not seen him?
On my main account, I haven't even seen Gwen in top for the last 3 months.
Right? It wasn't on my main account. It was on my Smurf account.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. And I actually got a bit of experience with this champ, so I'm confident talking about it.
Yeah,
and
I think she's awful, but
she's fucking terrible, dude. This is like kill, but then like worse in a way. So let's talk about Gwen mid. Gwen mid has a really big problem, and that's the laning phase. Okay, like it's insane how big the problem is, because this champion's range is rather short, and it has no way to consistently get on top of you if you're playing like a mage. Right? She can never get onto a mage until she has R, and then she can only use R to all in, but it's skill shot, so it's not even consistent. You're forced to use your W very creatively to CS. It's really hard to access all of the minions, and it's a bit of a niche champion. It's like kill. It's just going to beat you on the side, and it's going to beat you hard at that point. If she gets to 1 item without being behind, that's when this champ has effect. So what we're going to see is that if we're going to look at the ranks, I can already guarantee you, is that Gwen mid at high elo is just fucking dog shit, because a lot of people understand how to play against it. Now it looks like, how many games there have been played here? 110 games. So, not bad.
Yeah. So, so what you have to look at is the game average win rate. So the one on the right. So if you go back, that it's like completely terrible at higher elo. Game average means when you play against somebody who's relatively similar in your skill level, right? So that 51% is if you play Gwen against a master player, right? Or like a Gwen against a diamond player, right? In your masters, right? Or like a Gwen against an Emerald 1 if you're a diamond, right? So like if you're slightly better than your opponent and you can get away with the lane, she actually doesn't look. She looks like playable, quote unquote.
Yeah, if you can get your skill level. If you can get through the lane, dude, you're gonna have a great time, because this champ eats people in the side lane. Like mid laners get eaten alive in the side lane by this champion. It's just, can she get to that point or not? And in my games that I've played, Gwen's never gotten to the point. She's good.
Like you see, if you play against a Grandmaster Gwen player, and you're playing Gwen mid against a Grandmaster and your Grandmaster, your win rate is 37%. So
champ's ass if at the highest ranks. If you can get a
I think she's already terrible.
If you can get a counter pick or you're like crazy fucking good in the lane, then sure, right? Sure. But nah, she's not a mid laner, guys.
Worst Kale. I like that analogy. Worst Kale.
Yep. So Lissandra, right? Lissandra is a bit of a up and down. She's had some good performances, but she's not like really truly. I haven't seen her that much, and I am kind of struggling to understand if she's now S+ or S tier. So that's why I want to like really get your thoughts on it. How much Liss have you seen? What have you been experiencing versus champion?
Yeah, I've seen her a lot, and there's two major reasons why we see her a lot. Number one was just the raw buffs. So again, her Q, like we talked about on the patch she got buffed, her Q got buffed by 25%. So that makes her lane like unbelievably strong. Because you can just play for the wave, or you can play to walk up and trade, right? And I've seen a ton of pros pick her, and in my games, I've seen her a lot, actually. I've seen her like 5-6 times so far, which is quite a bit for how much I play right now. So I think she's quite strong, like up at the top. Yeah. And these because of her Q buffs. And the second reason, and this one makes it really important, is the rise of the Proto Belt meta, right? People realized how powerful rushing Proto Belt is, right? And I think she utilizes Proto Belt absurdly well, right? Because it helps her get in range, right? It gives her the HP she needs. It gives her the haste, right? And I think this is, if you rush it, that's the thing. You need to rush it. So if you rush it, she's ridiculous, I think. Absolutely ridiculous champ. And a lot of I think quite a few pros have been playing her with Rocketbelt Rush. And it's like the system change, or like the thing that Chovy introduced and learned about, the Rocketbelt meta, plus her buffs have like fused together to actually make her really freaking strong in a lot more games. And I actually think I want to go down a journey of learning her right now, because I think she's that good.
Yeah, makes so much sense. So I didn't even consider Rocketbelt. And I want to make it a bit of an extra educational tidbit for everyone, because I've gotten so many questions about this in the Discord. Why is everyone playing Rocketbelt? Why is Chovy building Rocketbelt? So let's break it down. Let's end this discussion here once and forever. There is a few key reasons. Let's start with the first one, guys. Let's go to Proto Belt. If we go to this item to begin with, what we identify is that the cost is 2650. And I want you to look at the stats that it gives, right? It is 120% gold efficient, excluding the active, okay? Yeah. We're going to talk about this active later, but excluding the active, this item is already insanely gold efficient. And if we compare this to the item, for example, Cosmic Drive, which is one of the older, really cost-efficient items, look at the stats, right? 70, 25, 350. 70, 20, 300. It's almost the same, but it's now just cheaper, right? So the gold value of Hextech Rocketbelt is really, really, really insane to begin with if you just want the stats. The other thing is the money value, okay? So an item that is 2650 compared to 3000 gold, there's a massive difference maker in this, because completed items are insanely valuable because of the fact that if you complete an item earlier, you can start working on your next item faster. So you will reach your Rabadon's death cap or your next spike earlier in comparison towards if you had this extra money that you need to spend onto Cosmic Drive, which means that your 3-item spike is faster, and therefore you can out-tempo a lot of champions in the game. That's reason number 2. Reason number 3, guys, and this is especially important in higher elo games and competitive. And I've seen no one mention this on a single Hextech Rocketbelt explanation video, is the mental stack, guys. Whenever you play into whatever champion, if you play into Aurora, when people first started building Rocketbelt into Aurora, what do you expect when you play versus Aurora? Your threat assessment is always limited towards her initial range of the QE. You're tethering her QE. But what if this bitch stops running Ludens and she starts building Rocketbelt? Now, she has this tiny extra range, which you haven't calculated in your head yet. She gets in that range with Rocketbelt, you die, while otherwise you don't die. And this is why Chovy's building it, because he is catching people off guard with the Rocketbelt. I remember I played against Challenger Aurora when I was on my Challenger climb early this year. And this guy was extremely good in lane. He hit Rocketbelt, and I thought I was safe. And it was the first time I played first Rocketbelt Aurora. And he one-shot me at a crucial moment in the game by just getting that barely into range with the Rocketbelt. I instantly lost the game of that play. One Rocketbelt difference into losing me the game. That's the key reason. Of course it can dodge kill shots. Great. Nice. It can dodge skill shots. Very active. But it's just the creativity and the mental stack, the anticipation, the calculations need to be redone on a lot of champions. anything else that you've seen about this item that I've missed?
You hit the nail on the head, and just to consolidate, basically, and rip off what you're saying, basically, what this is, guys, is this is a better Cosmic Drive for cheaper, right? You're fitting the stats of Cosmic Drive, squishing it down into an item that gives almost the same amount of stats, and you're getting almost arguably a better passive, right? That's basically what this item is. And I want to tie this back to the Roa meta, right? Why was Roa so good? And this is something that I want to cover, is that HP as a stat early game is the most valuable stat you can have for winning your lane. And guess what? Like Roa, this item is a cheap item that gives you a good amount of HP.
Insane build path, by the way. Look at the build path.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like the best items you can get. Flat into flat. That's why this item is so good.
Yeah, so the components that make it up are very, very strong. And like Tim said, the mental stack overload, but also the threat of having it up makes it really hard for traditional matchups to thrive. Like, I want to look at it from Yone's perspective. If I play Yone and I got my Bork and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to Q3 him and then do a long trade. What happens if the Lissandra, let's just take like Aurora, right? Like, what happens if Aurora proto belts my Q3 and then W's me and spaces me and QEs me? So the fact that she has an extra dash means I can never go in, right? Because I cannot hit her if she proto belts it, right? And so that's what makes this item so insane, right? It's just, it has basically everything besides mana. But a lot of champs like Liss and Aurora, if you have good mana management, don't need mana. Otherwise, mages can build it second, right? And you can use it. You can utilize it second.
Yeah, and that's also a really good reason of why this item was less built last year. And we see the rise, the resurgence of mana-less starts is because of the reset times, the home guards, right? You can just fucking nuke the wave and reset. You don't need to stay in the lane all the time because you have no mana issues, because you can just reset all the time, right? That's why we see these items pop up as well. And imagine being a jungle player. Imagine playing Zac or someone like that. Or playing Elise, and you're like trying to gank a mid laner with Protobelt. You'll never hit a skill shot in your life. That's possible.
They also need a Pro Belt.
You want to land the skill shot, so
everyone needs a Pro Belt.
Everyone needs a Protobelt nowadays. It's a good item, guys. It's a good item. Beautiful. So Liz, you convinced me. Just borderline, broken.
Yeah, broken as well.
Top of the pick. Yep, absolutely. Okay, we're gonna completely dissect S tier and A tier in a second. First, a few more viewer questions. Neeko, why was Neeko not on the list? The truth is, Neeko's not a fucking mid laner anymore, guys. They nuked her base damages. Yes, she is a strong early lane. Yes, she can poke you with Q. This champ can't side lane, has no wave clear. Dog fucking shit. Back to the gulag of support, alright? And they also nerfed on support. This champ's gonna be fucking dead real soon. They're gonna need to do something with that champ, but we'll see. Absolutely. Now, AJ, it's your time again. There's some people having success with Yone in the comments, and that's great for them. That means that you're doing something really right, because this champ is not good. We put him in dog shit tier for a reason. Compromised 1 minute deep dive on why Yone is dog shit.
Okay, how about let's change it up. How about you start, and then I'll do my monologue that rip off of you. What do you think?
Okay. So, the reason why Yone is not that good is because he has no early laning presence in an early laning meta where lane control is insanely important. You fall incredibly far behind, and it's just really, really, really hard, especially since the D-Shield nerfs, to just lane versus a lot of mid laners. And I want to especially just call out a lot of the matchups that we have in that are currently present in mid lane. Good luck playing Yone into Ryze. Good luck playing Yone into Aurora. It's very hard in all of the other champions as well. You need to have insanely good laning. Very challenging. His trading patterns are extremely linear, guys. Very linear trading patterns. Because you're playing around your E and Q3. Good luck landing these versus players with short clicks and good micro. It's very, very challenging. And in the mid game, he is extremely hard to play because of the amount of options. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he's unplayable. If you can get to your Bork and you can get to the mid game, you're in a great spot. But getting there is the challenging part.
Love it. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And before I begin my monologue, I just want to let you guys know, Yone and Master Bus has a 47% win rate. Okay, 47%. So that means the champion, just statistically speaking, doesn't win that many games, right? That's awful, and it's all the reasons you said. So, first of all, if you look at the S plus tier, there is not one champion on that S plus tier where he has a favorable matchup in. He loses all of those, right? Octron is very tough. very tough matchup. I think Zoe's win rate against Yone is like 60% or something. Zoe completely counters Yone. Either you can cleanse the bubble, it counters him. Akali counters him, right? Unless you know what you're doing. Ori counters him unless you know what you're doing. Liz, you cannot do anything against. Will just completely destroy you. Aurora will completely destroy you until you get to mid game. Riot without scales beats you the entire game.
Yeah,
So there's not a single champion that's meta that you beat, right? And here's the thing about Yone. Here's the main issue with Yone, which is what you covered. I want to highlight. So Yone's kit is designed for you to have infinite options in the mid game. That's his strength, right? He can flank. He can go from Fog of War with his Q3 stacked on Dragon, right? You can front to back. You can RN and get AoE and go for a wombo combo, right? You have infinite options in the mid game. The problem is that this doesn't actually work practically because your first 15 minutes are too weak. So me personally, right, I have tons of thousands. I have more games on Yone than probably anyone else watching this video, right?
Prove him wrong. Send in your OPGG if you have more than 4,000 Yone games.
Yeah, prove me wrong. But so what happens in practice is that you play a game against one of these harder lanes. You fall behind because it's inevitable you're going to fall behind with the reset changes, with the fact you can't get push, where you have to min-max your lane just to barely survive. And you get stat checked in mid-game, right? I played a game where I was behind like 10 to 15 CS against Ori, but I know Prio. She went bot, got a double kill. Now all of a sudden, even when I go side lane against her, I can't beat her. So what I went from having quote unquote infinite options in the mid game to having none. Literally none. Because if I R onto her, she R's me, QWs me, kites through the phase rush, and I'm literally losing, right? So you have to be even with your laner as a Yone without getting prio, right? Without being good at skirmishes, without doing anything until Bork. How does that work? You have to be significantly better than your opponent for that to happen. And again, reflected on the win rate, if you actually look, his win rate goes down 15 to 20 minutes. His win rate goes down because you're probably too far behind at that point to actually win majority of games. And then it climbs back up as the game gets longer and longer and longer. It's just you can see his win rate goes down. So it's like you're not doing anything the first 20 minutes of the game as a melee champion. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's complete dog shit.
Yep. And also it drops like at the end, even though he's like giga skilled, because he's too fucking hard to play in team fights. And this is ARAM time here, right? This is ARAM time.
Yeah.
So yeah, not a good champ to play if you want to climb. Why is Viktor S tier? Okay. So in high elo, Viktor's S tier because of his insanely strong laning. He's got a good matchup versus a lot of these champions. A lot of these champs are actually struggling versus Viktor in the lane because of his raw trading power. He has flexibility of running combat sum and TP. He has insane build flexibility, going Roa, really good for his high threat, and BFT going very high damage. So the build flexibility is really, really high. And he's just a champion that if you want to win lane, you will win lane with. And if you you saw it in first hand, right, where a lot of pros actually picked Viktor occasionally if they needed a strong laner as a blind pick. And you can just blind Viktor. Whatever they pick into you, you're going to do fine. Your champion is good. And that doesn't mean that he's necessarily the best at everything. Like the question already mentioned, he struggles in 2v2s in the early game. Absolutely, he's got long cooldowns, low DPS. But what you do is you just isolate the lane. And if you have control of the lane because you're a good laner, you're playing a strong laning champion, you can isolate the lane by just playing the waves incredibly well. I remember when Poby first came over from Korea to EU, I played a game versus his Viktor, and I was playing Syndra, which is a weaker laner, and he just pinned me down like a fucking dog for 12 minutes straight, dude. I was like locked up. I couldn't do anything because he was just cycling the wave so well. He was resetting so smartly that he didn't ever give me an opportunity to breathe. And that is the power of fundamentals on a strong laner like this. You can just pin people down, dude.
Yeah.
You have the agency.
I think you're spot on. Just to rip off what you're saying, I think Viktor is like the fundamentals-based champ. I mean, so is Ori, but that's why they're similar to each other. But they're like the fundamentals-based champ, right? It's like, do you have good trading windows? Do you know when is a good trading window? Are you playing to smother the enemy, aka keep them pinned under turret, right? Are you min-maxing your positioning, right? Are you stacking your waves and wording and leading properly? Are you managing your mana well? If you do all of these things, and you keep the lane isolated, your output on these mages are going to be insane on Viktor. Same with Ori. It just because you're going to accelerate yourself, and then the beautiful thing about League is that your champion starts to break more rules the further ahead you get. So if you utilize Viktor's first 15 minutes really well, you get yourself a lead. Now all of a sudden a champ that's like mediocre to good at side laning becomes unbeatable. Right?
Unbeatable.
You can start beating
Unbeatable.
top laners, right? You can start pushing the wave out all the way. You can start 2v1ing. And then you snowball yourself even more. So now you're playing a teamfight champ that gets side lane, that's mobility, that's self-heal. Right? But I think where the common frustration happens with Viktor players is their first 15 minutes are good enough, and they think that it's good enough because they're even, right? And then they go in the mid game and they're useless, right?
Completely
or they feel useless.
Yeah.
And so, guys, if you're struggling to like feel the S tier nature of Viktor, I would highly recommend you look at your first 15 minutes and look at the fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
How's your Q usage like? Are you positioned aggressively to punish cooldowns? Are you spamming your E on cooldown, right? Are you going for good quality resets? Those would be the things I'd be looking for.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned this because I think last week I did 2 Viktor reviews with players that thought that their mid game was the issue.
Yeah,
and yes, there were things to improve in the mid game, of course.
Yeah.
But if you look at the laning phase, right, is that a lot of players on Viktor don't truly understand how you maximize that lead in the lane. A lot of Viktor players, the problem I see is that they're playing for kills in my coaching sessions. They don't know how to leverage their poke and pressure onto the enemies to actually build that CS gap through good resets, good wave management, and playing with the small wins mindset. They try to do too much, they drop low, they lose lane control, and they get into this position where they just completely spiral out of control in the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yep. Great. So we're going to now take a look at the S plus tier and the S tier. And we're just going to get 5 champs in the S plus tier. I want 5 champs in the S tier. And the rest is all going to get pushed down. This is the final big finale of season 1. Let's just start with the S plus tier. Let's remove 2 champions. I already got 2 in mind who I want to remove. Let's take a look at the tier list for a second here from Lolalytics and see what they say. I want to keep Zoe, Ahri, Lissandra, Ryze, and Aurora. These are the ones I want to keep. I want to remove Akali and
Akshan.
Yeah,
I agree.
No debate. And I think that...
No debate.
Yeah, no debate.
Total about 2 OP on all those champs besides Ryze.
Besides Ryze. Ryze has got different tools.
Yeah, he's got different tools.
Man, I've played a few Ryze games, dude. I'm just going 400 CS at minute 30.
Yeah, that's the Dorian VCS hack, man. You got the Dorian VCS hack on.
This fucking champion is so broken.
Yeah. Once you guys understand forcing the enemy to react to you in the side as Ryze and cheating timers because of your ults, and like you could both force someone to react to you in the side and be in a fight, he becomes like too strong.
He wins lane. He gets perma push. He can run fucking Ghost, which makes him really not vulnerable to ganks, which is like a game changer for him. Repositioning his skirmishes, which was a horrible problem for him in previous seasons, but now he can run Ghost, so he's good. And man, the biggest thing that because there's some Ryze players coming to my coaching sessions, right?
Yeah.
They don't understand how fucking disrespectful is I think the word, how arrogant they can be in the side lane. Because you can actually draw so much pressure to the side lane. And instead of using your R to shove a move into mid, you can just drop 3 people down, use your R to get out, and you've created this massive black hole on the game where your team just gets so much in return. There's been games where I purely won through wasting the enemy's time, and my team just get Baron and fucking control around the neutral. It's just so OP.
Yeah, I love that. And like, you can even be creative. Like, I remember one time I played a game against Ryze where he was pressuring bot. We sent 3, and he R'd the wave to mid, and then he hit mid.
Wow.
With the bot wave. So he drew pressure, and then swapped it to mid and took the mid turret.
Wow. That's next level.
Yeah, a lot of creativity there.
Insane, dude. Ryze is so insane, guys. If you're a high elo player and you're not playing Ryze right now, which is really Master Plus, right? You're missing out, dude. And don't expect to get quick fix results on this champ. You need to understand the fundamentals really well. You need to get fucking good in this champ because it's really complicated with all the decisions you got to make. And the skirmishing is not intuitive. Medium short range champ, short cooldowns. W is insanely hard to use in fights. Don't expect quick results, but if you're a Master Plus player and you're looking to like really step up your game fundamentally for the next couple of months, it's a good project to get into.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Let's move on to S tier. We're going to bump out 3 champions of the S tier. Okay. And we got a bit of an interesting category, right? Akali and Akshan are just already going to be in here because they came from S+.
Yep.
So we got to make a decision between these 6 champions about removing half of them.
Yep. Let's talk about the mages first, because I think those was the easiest to talk about.
Okay, what do you want to say about the mages?
Yeah, so I think these champions are so extreme. I think they deserve to be S+, I'll just say it. And I think the reason why is, again, like we just covered with the Viktor specific bit, is they're really good at playing the first 15 minutes and snowballing, and they're just really solid blind picks, and they don't really have any weak matchups. And they're just like the classic mid lane champ, right? They're just the rock, right? They don't really change or move around that much. They have the same identity. You play for your isolated lane, you get your lead in the isolated lane, you play for the neutral objectives, which mid lane has always been great at doing, and you're good to go, right?
Yep. So what I want to say, right, is I'm going to compare all of these champs to the S+ champs and to each other. Okay, so let's just compare these mages to the likes of. Let's start with the Katarina Kiana, because these are like the same fucking champs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How does these matchups play out? And how does both these categories of champs verse off against the better champions in the game as well?
I see.
And you instantly see where I'm going here, right? Because
I'm pretty sure mages are going to do way better.
Yeah, if we look at just the control part of it, it's just not even close in what we see. These champs, if you get a good matchup to the champs below you, you can do some mean shit in the game. Like, genuinely mean shit can be done.
Yeah.
But the truth is that these champs will always be effective, okay? And you are in control. Yeah. It's your game to lose. So therefore, I think these champs are S tier, and these champs don't deserve S tier.
Yeah, and just because you play against a Zoe who rushes Rocketbelt as Kiana, good luck. You play against Lissandra versus Rocketbelt as Cat, good luck, you know? So all the matches of the S+ are just awful. Even in 2 Ori and Viktor is probably not easy either. Probably bad. So
no, it's losing. I pick Viktor any day into all 3 of these champs.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just go fucking Roa into these champs, and good luck.
Yeah.
You can't even beat me inside. You can't kill me in lane. I have full lane control. It's just complete utter fucking. It's just a slaughterhouse into these champs.
Yep. Yep. I love pushing Kat and Kiana. Even Dad probably. I think all 3 of them can go down. I think because now let's talk about Yasuo, right? I think Yasuo's the one champ on those assassins, right? If we're gonna pivot, that has a good matchup into all these champions, who has a little bit more stability in his lane, right? You can play against the likes of Ori and there we go, control. You have presence and pressure. You can dictate how you want the lane to go, right? You're not at the mercy of the other player.
Yeah.
On Yasuo.
And I want to, before we actually make the verdict, right? I want to talk about this, because Kata is #1 champ on the tier list on Lolalytics, and her win rate is just really crazy. I want to talk why this is the case and why we are not going to get baited by this and actually allow us to put Kata over. Yes, Kata is bullshit. I'm going to be really honest, right? Especially if you play a weak champion, you're going to get stat checked. Okay? It's the truth. You're going to get stat checked. This champion is very annoying. I played Syndra into Kata. I made one mistake and you're out. Yeah. Okay? As you play weak champ, it's just not that good. But the thing with Kata is that a lot of players that play this champ are like OTPs. This is practically OTPs. You can't play this champ if you're not OTP. So that makes this champion really good versus worse players where you start stat checking, worse champs. And a lot of players don't truly understand how to play into Kata. Like, the key to playing into Kata is your positioning in lane. And if you don't understand that position, you're going to get hit by a dagger or 2. Well, good fucking luck. You're going to just lose the trades, and that's when you're going to struggle. Yeah. I did make a how to beat Kata on my YouTube channel. If you're like, Tim, hey, that's me. You're describing me right here. Check out that video. It's going to be linked in the description. But yeah, that's why her stats are a bit fake. And I think we have to drop these 3 champs down to A tier.
Yeah, and just again to kind of go off of what you were saying there with Katarina, is if you looked at that win rate change, you could see that her win rate is 53% when you play against any player, 54%. But the game average, that one, which means you play against someone your skill level, look at how much it goes down, right?
Yep.
Right, look at that 4% difference. And so a lot of these wins as well a lot of these wins as well in Cat are probably Cat playing against a champion that's not very good, right, in the meta, right? Because I played a game where I played Vigar mid, and I was against a Katarina. I never died, but I had no control over the lane, and then she was able to just roam and kill my whole team. right?
Yeah.
So a lot of her win rate, like you said, is inflated from playing the easy matchups, right? And from playing against players that you're just much better than. Right?
Yeah. And there's going to be questions, okay? Why is the challenger win rate of COD 59%? Well, I'm just going to be really honest. There's a few freaks, dude. There's a few fucking freaks on this champion. There's guys, like, if you go to Deep Lore, right? You see these COD OTPs, guys. If you go to leaderboards, OTPs, we'll find this Kexeres guy. If you play with this fucking Kexeres guy, you're just not having a good time on any champion.
Yeah.
Just to put it in perspective, this guy's got like, I don't know, 10,000 games on this champion. Same as Raiko. This is just not a fun guy to verse. They've got like 10,000 games on this champ. They've played the matchup like, I don't know, 25 times more than you ever will in your life. And that gives them just an edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just how it is. It just gives them an edge. Yeah. And that makes it just really hard to verse up against these players.
Yeah, and even if you play well into the cat will probably go do something against your teammates who don't know how cat works that well, right? Because they don't play mid. So
there we go.
Sometimes you could just have cat farm beside the other champs, but that doesn't make her he's a good mid laner, but not a good mid lane champion, if that makes sense. Like, it's kind of weird, the nuance there. It's like she's good at abusing the mid lane, I guess, meta, right? In terms of pushing, like the 16 meta, which is push and move, free resets. But like her matchups are not good. That's a good way of putting it, and that's why we push her down.
And she's A tier, guys. She's good.
So
right?
good.
She's good. She's not fucking B or D tier. This champ, you're gonna win a lot of games on this champ, especially if you're really good.
Yeah.
All right, A tier. Too many champs in A tier. We gotta kill the weak here, kill the meek, and remove some of these frauds. And I'm gonna start off here because I have to make a confession. Okay. I think Syndra is actually not that strong anymore.
Like a lot worse than even A tier.
She's a lot weaker. Yes, I think she's B. And I've played versus many of these matchups, and I just feel like I don't got it anymore, man. I just feel like I'm missing out on kills. Because the fucked up thing about the Syndra change that they made with reducing the R damage is that in my mind, the old R damage still applies. So I ult someone, I think it kills, but then it just barely doesn't hit the execute threshold. And it just messes me up. And I think a really good testament to this is that a lot of players in the MLA, the Syndra thread's been drying up. It's been the most active thread, the most active. I've gotten Syndra coaching. I did like 25 coaching sessions per week, right?
Yeah.
From these 25 sessions, I had 10 to 12 Syndra sessions per week.
Wow.
All the Syndra players came to my fucking sessions. How many do I do per week right now? Of course, my session, I'm doing a little bit less session. I'm doing like, I don't know, 15 a week right now.
Yeah.
I only get like 2 Syndras per week now, man.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been gone. Yeah.
Fascinating, because the way I view it is like, wouldn't Protobelt be quite nice on here? I'm looking at the win rate. Protobelt is looking kind of juicy on Syndra because it gives you cosmic drive stats. But then you have Protobelt. So I was thinking, have you considered trying Protobelt on her?
It's just awkward, man. It's just awkward. Like Syndra needs the mana. Like you could do Hextech Rocketbelt second.
Yeah, second. That's what I was thinking. Like compared to Cosmic Drive.
Yeah, you could do that. It's totally fine. It's just it's just a slightly different identity. You're then playing a little bit more for the QE picks, right? Catching people off guard. While this Cosmic Drive, maybe I am gaslighting everyone right now. Maybe this is just me not adapting. What do you think? I think I'm kind of like questioning myself here. I'm like, maybe I'm just gaslighting right now.
Okay, so I am always if I'm not sure, I always look at the stats. So like, I'm looking at Syndra's stats and Master Plus, and she's okay.
She's fine. She's kind of fucking good actually.
Yeah. And I look at the win rate. I look at the win rate Rocketbelt, and it's pretty damn high. Like, because I was thinking, if Rocketbelt's so good, and Cosmic Drive used to be good on her, why not just go Rocketbelt? Yeah,
it is good. Rocketbelt is good. Cosmic Drive is still good, by the way, but
Cosmic Drive is still good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the truth is, I think I'm just biased. I think I'm just gaslighting myself. She's probably still A tier.
Yeah, come on, man. She's not lower than Hwei. What are we talking about?
What did you say?
There's no way Hwei is higher tier than Syndra. I'm not buying that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I guess I'm just I'm just a grumpy old Syndra main.
Yeah,
getting
you're a
fucking
Syndra player. Used to her being S+.
Yeah. the days of winning every game are over, man. Fucking hell, yeah. Maybe she's fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
Frogton, I know you're watching. Please give her a little bit of damage.
How about we buff Yone first before we buff Syndra?
Okay, let's talk the rest. Because we gotta bump a few champs down. Talia, because these champs are, of course, A tier right here. Yeah. I want to talk about Talia and Galio first here. I have not seen any Talias anymore, man. These Talias have been fucking useless in my games.
I think she's actually a lot worse than we put her out.
She's worse, huh?
Like, the phase rush nerfs and the Q damage nerfs and the mana nerfs, too many nerfs.
Yep.
I think she's a lot worse than what we made it out.
What do you reckon?
You might even be C tier. Yeah, I think like she's good to Zir. I know she's good to Zir. Like you play her into Zir, she's good. She's good into Galio. You play her into Galio, you're happy.
Still a few pros.
Yeah, if you look at the games, I see a lot of against Silas, Azir, right? I see a lot against Galio. So I think again, she's good as a counter pick, right? Like these guys are picking her into Galio and having a good time, but not just blinding her every game anymore.
She's fallen, dude. This champ used to be like same as Plusted. Yeah. We gotta buff up more mid laners instead of nerfing them. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm happy putting her seated.
Putting her
seated. Let's talk about Galio. Have you seen much Galio?
Okay, I'm out. I think he's still good, just not as preferable. I mean, because the thing is with him is that he uses Rocketbelt really well as well, right? So the Rocketbelt build has been quite solid on him recently.
He's flexible.
So I don't feel comfortable putting him lower. I think he's actually still quite good.
Yep. He's decent. I think he's still A tier.
I think let's assess Aso and Vygar, because I played a Vygar game myself, and I'm feeling like these guys are not A tier. And even though they're strong, they have major weaknesses, and the major weakness is when you play against an assassin and you have to concede prio, the game's gonna blow up, right?
Let's see how the nerfs affected him. I don't think it changed his win rate much. Seemed about similar. Yeah, win rate didn't really drop that much. It's about the same. Pick rate didn't really drop. But you reckon he's not A tier?
Yeah, and again, the reason being is that from my experience playing him, I played a few games of Vygar recently. It's not because he necessarily has a bad lane or doesn't scale well. I think those things are all great. It's when you play against an assassin, you don't have enough agency over the lane, right? You have to concede the lane. And that's felt really bad because they take over the sides way too much. And then the game, even though you're strong, it's hard to pivot your strength into a win because your champ is still reliant on front line, right? Like your champ is unreliable.
Right.
Unless you have someone else with multi-threat. And so it's like that dynamic felt a little awkward to me. So I think he's still solid, but I don't think he's like super, super, super amazing in that regard in high elo.
You reckon it unlocks certain champs?
Yeah, unlocks certain champs. That's a good way of viewing it, right? Like, I think Katarina has a field day, Zed has a field day, Kiana has a field day, Diana, Neferi, Irelia, even like Lissandra, Akali, Yasuo.
I don't think he's bad though.
I don't think he's bad.
No,
to be clear, I don't think he's bad.
No. Okay.
I think same with Ace too.
Acel's just not. I've not seen a single Acel game. Let's just put it like that. I've not seen a single Acel, man.
Yeah.
We gotta remove one more. I'm debating between Costin. How's Costin holding up right now?
Alados has been preaching Costin to me nonstop.
Yeah, but that's all. He's been doing that while he's dog shit as well. Dude. You just can't stop talking about that champion, huh? He's good as fuck, dude. We shouldn't nerf this guy. Very interesting. Yeah, okay. So Cousin is fine.
I can be honest, I'm not seeing a single TF either.
Let's look. It's fine, man. It's a good champ.
Yeah, I guess he's not too bad.
He's super flexible in his building as well.
That's true, yeah.
You can do the Roa.
Proto Belt's probably insane on him as well.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, yeah, no, Proto Belt makes him good. Yeah.
TF is good. Hwei, Echo. Echo is good. I have not seen Aurelia. What's going on with Aurelia? Have you seen Aurelia?
Maybe Aurelia was bad. Yeah. No. She's kind of like Yasuo, though. Like, she's similar to Yasuo. Just, like, has a lot of control early game. And so, I think the thing between Aurelia and Yasuo is that Aurelia's mid game is much harder than Yasuo's. Like, way harder. And the fighting is harder.
The lane as well. I think the lane is way harder, dude. The landing that E versus... Look, you know that I told you that I struggled versus Syndra versus Aurelia?
Yeah.
You said, buy boots early. That's all you said.
Yeah.
Since then, Aurelia match has been going fine. I just couldn't dodge the E because I had no boots. I didn't know that. I was never thinking about it like that. You said, just buy boots. I just started buying boots. Aurelia matchup just didn't become a problem. I didn't get dove in the turret 24/7 all the time because I was just dodging the E instead of getting from my head. So
it's like And we're playing against Zoe, like, in a really weird way. It's like there's one skill shot you need to avoid, which is both their E.
Yep.
If you avoid it, you're chilling. If you don't avoid it, you're
Yeah.
probably lane's over, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I just always, like, if I play any champ with Zoe, I just take cleanse.
Yeah, right.
I just push the wave, and if I get hit by an E, great. I just fucking cleanse, and I just play offense, defense on the wave state versus her.
Right.
Okay, we're moving Aurelia down. I want to talk about LeBlanc.
I haven't talked about her in a while.
Yeah, LeBlanc's been a bit on this journey here in C tier. I reckon that she might be a bit better than C tier. Have you seen any LeBlanc?
No, I'm not. I'm literally, because I hate this champ, so I'd remember if I play against her. I've not seen her once.
She's just hard, man. She's just so hard.
I also think the Rocketbelt meta must be annoying as fuck for them, right? You protobalt her W, right? Or you protobalt her E, and you have extra health. That seems really annoying for LeBlanc.
Yeah, it is actually really hard. Mercs is also really good versus her. Oh, yeah! I've been seeing people buy Gunblade, dude. I swear, that did so much damage.
That kind of makes sense.
I don't know. I played against one Gunblade LeBlanc. Dude was so behind, and he just got fucked. He just one-shot me. I was like,
you gotta try it, man.
Yeah, I guess I gotta try it. It's not even listed as a first item.
I didn't hear. Yeah.
That's.
In my mind, it doesn't sound like it because you have no haste. Your R is such a long cooldown.
Yeah, I don't know. LeBlanc is just too hard, man. That's just it. She's just too hard.
I think just too shit in the Rocketbelt as well. Like, way too shit.
I'm gonna keep her in C tier. Can't pick. That's good. Annie, have you seen any got some buffs recently? How's that landed?
Not single Annie.
I think it's the same problems as well. Low wave clear.
Same concept, yeah.
I want to remove one champ from B tier just to make it pretty.
I Cog then.
Cog?
Put him with the other artillery mages.
Yeah, because a lot of people have been like, I saw a lot of Cog until I just didn't see a lot of Cog anymore. Like people got like obsessed about. You've never saw a single time?
Yeah, even though like the idea conceptually in my mind seems like it makes sense with the Dusk and Dawn or whatever. I never saw that shit a single time.
Oh yeah. Look, I saw that a lot at the start of the season, but now it's just evaporated. So let's put Cog down with the other
similar to Xerath and Ziggs in my opinion. Very similar playstyle.
Right. I think we got ourselves a sexy tier list here. We went over all the champs. We've got the definitive tier list of patch 2608, guys. We're going to be looking forward to what the new season 2 of this year is going to bring us. Any final comments or remarks you want to make, AJ?
No, not at all. I think maybe let's just recap and discuss what this meta has been the last... Because the meta hasn't changed in the last 3 patches, right?
It's just, the entire year it's been the same, by the way.
Yeah, so that's... What do you think? What has the meta kind of been? Like, what is it revolved around?
Lane control. Being able to get first move, forcing people to respond, and making tempo plays on the map. Our role as a mid laner is not a DPS carry nowadays. It's more of a tempo player in which we can use our fast wave clear and tempo on the map, because we do get the empowered recalls as well, to be at the right place at the right time, pressuring the right waves and creating number advantage fights. I think I reflected on my challenger climb, right? I think the number one reason why I was climbing so insanely fast and efficient was because this meta was kind of built for me. I picked fucking the strongest champs in the game. Zinra in good matchups. Viktor blind or Ryze blind. I got lane control every single fucking game because laning is my strength. And I was just constantly pushing out sideways, using my tempo to create number advantage. And by winning the lane, I won the game. That was what was constantly happening.
Yeah.
And that's what I've experienced. It's probably you as well, right?
Yeah, because what I want to show you guys here to represent it is look at the yin and yang. So look at the best champ on our list compared to the worst, right? And compare their strengths and weaknesses, right? So Ryze is the best champ that we consider on the patch. Yone or Mel, whichever interchangeable, are the worst champs of the patch. What's the difference? Control over your lane. Ryze has full control in every single lane. You have infinite options. You can do exactly what you want. You can move to whatever you want. You can get pushed whenever you want. You reset whenever you want, right? Yone, on the other hand, is the complete reverse. You're at the absolute mercy of how the other player plays. You're at the mercy of how well you dodge skill shots so you can survive the game. And you're a pure DPS champ. And Riot and Season 16 have really basically told us, shoved it down our throat, how you should be playing mid. With the, like you said, the empower recall, talking about tempo, and the fact that you literally get less gold than the other 2 lanes, or less XP than the other 2 lanes, but you get more speed on the map, right? And so Riot have literally told us this is how you should be playing. And it's slowly over the course of patch by patch by patch, if we could see the difference visualized, right? With Rise being at the absolute highest and Yone being at the absolute lowest, right? And you could feel that difference and what Riot has been pushing us towards.
Yeah, I love it. Very clear first season of this year. A very fun season. I think meta-wise, I've really enjoyed this fast play style. I am hoping for a bit of a switch, though. I think that it's getting still. We had a fucking blast, especially at the start of the season. And I think season 2 is a great time to maybe introduce a little bit more power. More power in mid lane. I would like to see a little bit more power. And that's going to also bring up these other champs, especially mid-game power, like dueling power. Because the champs that liked to do that, like Yone right now, they just suffered, man. I want to see I want to see a little bit more of that power again.
Yeah, me too. I definitely would, because my Yone is usually always my highest play champ. I can't even bring myself to play more than like 50 games.
Can't pick him?
I can't bring myself to pick him. Yeah, I have to play Aurora every game, or Ari every game, or some sort of mage every single game.
Yeah, makes sense. Tough times for you, dude. You're struggling. Struggling in the trenches.
I had to pivot to Aurora being my baby. At least I have a lot of success with her, so that's not giving me.
There we go. That's beautiful. Okay, guys, thank you all for watching. Put a question in the comments or join the Discord if you want your champion to get covered in the questions in the next episode. If you want to get coached by me or by AJ, check out the link in the description. Thank you all for watching. See you guys in 2 weeks with a new video. Peace out.